So what do you guys think about microtransactions in games, specifically games that you've already spent $60 on? Now, we've all played these free mobile games that have many of these microtransactions present, or some of us have played these free MMORPGs and they all have microtransactions as well, and I don't have a problem with that as long as it doesn't make the game pay to win, because it really doesn't give the player any reason to continue playing if they know they get to a point and they just can't progress any further if they don't pay any money. And of course, these games need to make money, or else there's no incentive for them to create them, because it is a business at the end of the day and they are offering something that is absolutely free. So I came across an article which gives information about how much money EA made over the past year in terms of microtransactions, and I don't want to make it seem like I'm singling EA out here or anything, because it's just the only company that the article mentions. So I know that there are many other companies which are contributing to this problem, but it says here that EA made in the past year $1.3 billion on this quote-unquote extra content, which is just all of your DLC and additional microtransactions. The way I see it is DLC can basically be divided into three categories. You have one category, which is my most favorable of the three, which is just your additional content to the game, maybe expansion packs, like say for example, Mass Effect. They had a few of these expansion packs which added hours of gameplay, and there's nothing wrong with that because we already love playing these games, and if we want to play a little bit more, we have these little bits of bonus parts of the story which are completely optional, but they're there for our enjoyment, and they're there a few months after the game is out, so we've probably already beaten the game, so we have, extra story to play through. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that's pretty cool, and I think that is the whole DLC content used right. We also have character costumes and appearance items that don't really change anything as far as the gameplay goes, but we know what we're getting with them. Honestly, I feel like we should be getting some of those with the games, because I'm always the type of guy that thinks it's really cool to have alternate costumes in games, because I remember back on the PS2 and pretty much all the older games, you could do certain things to unlock all of these bonus costumes and extra stages, but now you have to buy them, and they don't really give you any unlocks for playing the games. You don't get these extra costumes, or you don't get these extra levels for playing the games. You get achievements, which are really worth nothing except for bragging rights, but nonetheless, these types of microtransactions, they're there. If you want them, then you can get them. They're not that expensive, and if you don't have to buy them. They're really not that big of a deal with that either. And the third type of DLC is something that I see as being more of a gamble than anything else. It's these card packs and content packs that you don't know what you're getting. My first experience with this was with Mass Effect 3, where I was playing online. Of course, I didn't spend any money on that, but games like this, they give you tokens which can actually unlock some of the packs that you can also buy. But we noticed that the amount of tokens that you get to unlock these packs, really, it's going to take you forever to get anything good, and whenever you finally do, I remember I sat around, I played that game for a few hours online, and I finally unlocked enough tokens to unlock one of these special packs, and I got, like, everything that I got in several packs was nothing but items that I couldn't use for my characters, and I could imagine, like, if I'm spending money on that, maybe I spend $1 to unlock one of these packs, and I get absolutely nothing for the character that I want to use, but then again, you have another chance to get more items for just another buck, for example. It's basically a lot of small losses and small gains. People feel like they could win something because they have another opportunity and they only have to spend $1 more, and $1 really isn't that much, but it's in the long run where they gather up so much money like that, and it can be pretty addicting. But then again, I would have to say people empower this type of behavior with gaming companies, because they actually give their money on that. If EA didn't make $1.3 billion on DLC a year, they wouldn't be selling or trying to sell that much DLC. If they made a couple thousand, then they wouldn't be focusing on DLC as much. So people give in to the game companies, and they pretty much vote with their wallets on what they want to see. So I really can't blame them for that, but I would also have to think that pretty much this is going to affect many of their other titles out there as well, as we see, like, hey, they're making $1.3 billion on all of this DLC, so why would they want to create games which don't have DLC in the future if they realize that it's as profitable? Take a look at Konami, for example, about how they're switching over to basically just doing pachinko games and games of that nature, which are basically just, it's gambling, and you're getting your customers to spend small amounts of money in large increments, and you make money over time with that. So anyways, let me know your thoughts about DLC, the 3 types that I mentioned here, and also how you feel about it in relation to games that you've actually paid for. How do you feel about companies making this much money off of these little card packs and things in games which are basically just gambling? What do you think about that? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.